Good morning. My name is Winnie Byanyima. I am the director of the gender team of the United Nations Development Program. It's an honor to be able to address you today. I thank the organizers of this important meeting for inviting me to participate, particularly Jens, the UNDP Deputy Bureau Director for Europe and the CIS, Shahid, the UN Resident Coordinator and UNDP Resident Representative in Turkey, and the governments of Turkey and Japan. Congratulations to all of you who've been involved in organizing this important event. I want to begin our discussion today with a reflection about how far women have come and how far we still need to go. A long time ago, when I was running for parliament for the first time in my native Uganda, I met by chance an uncle whom I hadn't seen before. During our conversation, I asked him if he had any children. He shook his head sadly and replied, "My daughter, I have not been lucky in that way. I have only one child and 3 miserable girls." When I told this story at my campaign rallies, the reactions were quite intense. Men, particularly young men, often would laugh, but women of all ages would shake their heads in sadness and in recognition of a reality they knew all too well. I told this story many times to make the point that I was running for election to a constituent assembly, to make a constitution, and to use that opportunity to make the girl child a child too, to make the woman a human being. And the voters, particularly the women, responded in force. I was not only elected in a landslide with more than twice the votes of my closest opponent, but I received 90% of the total female vote. This was 18 years ago, and we have made much progress since then. But not nearly enough. Worldwide, women still account for only 19% of parliamentarians. Among political parties, women account for only 11% of leadership positions. There's no public tracking of women in public administration. But we know that they're underrepresented in this critical area too. The participation of women in these areas, as well as at the local level and in the judiciary, the third arm of the state, is critical to sustainable development. We need to continue to emphasize the reasons why women's political participation is important. First and foremost, we must insist on the human rights argument that women have an equal right to men to be leaders and to participate in decision-making at all levels on all issues. Secondly, we can also be guided by the instrumentalist approach that focuses on the difference women's participation makes to the well-being of families, communities, and nations. Because the evidence is strong. It shows that where there's a critical mass of women involved in decision-making, they contribute and they make a difference. When there are enough women in power, budgets often change in ways that benefit not just women and girls, but communities as a whole. Women politicians tend to emphasize social issues such as childcare, equal pay, reproductive health and rights, and gender-based violence, as well as the delivery of quality services and the reduction of poverty. There is also evidence emerging that ensuring a critical mass of women in decision-making can be an effective anti-corruption strategy. But many barriers remain that impede women's participation in public decision-making and in politics in particular. They include discriminatory attitudes in society and gender norms that shape who gets to lead and make decisions. The media is a mirror on society, and the way it portrays women reinforces their exclusion from decision-making. In the arena of politics, the important role of political parties has to be emphasized. Parties shape the political discourse and are the gateway to the political process. Parties offer opportunity to contest for political office. They raise resources to finance elections. Parties form governments and parliamentary oppositions. Unfortunately, women remain largely excluded in most political parties and too rarely get to lead parties and to lead governments. In addition, the ways that legislatures and other political organizations are structured are not conducive to women's participation. They rarely function in ways that allow women to take on political leadership alongside their time and care burdens at home and in their communities. To overcome these challenges, we must develop comprehensive strategies that address barriers on multiple fronts. No one intervention alone will respond to the range of challenges and deliver the desired results. So, to increase women's political participation, we must bring together all the key stakeholders and engage with all the institutions at play. This means working in a coordinated and coherent way with political parties, parliaments, election management bodies, the media, civil society organizations, and a range of other institutions. That is why this forum, which brings together such a diverse and committed group of stakeholders, is so important and potentially so powerful. I wish you all a fruitful and productive forum, and I'm eager to learn more about how we can work together to promote women's political participation. I thank you.